Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to talk about the huge important match that just finished, Manchester City versus Arsenal playing at the Emirates. So this match was really important because Arsenal hasn't been able to beat City for the last 6 years in the Premier League, whereas City is on a bad form, sort of in the domestic league, where they have lost two in a row. They lost against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, and they lost against Wolves in the Premier League. So it was an important match for both the teams because Arsenal need to beat City if they want to be considered as title challengers. Because not beating a team like City for 6 years, you just cannot be considered title challengers. So for this match's reaction, let's start with the lineups. With the lineup, with Arsenal, I couldn't understand why Arteta chose to play Jorginho ahead of Partey. Because if you are going to sit back against a team as well drilled as City, you need Partey in there to break the play, to break possessions, to give some hard tactics. But I couldn't understand why he was playing Jorginho because it wasn't like City are going to sit back. City are going to have most of the possessions and you need to take that position and attack quickly. So Jorginho cannot do that role. I just couldn't understand why he was playing Jorginho instead of Partey. Other than that, obviously is now injured. But then again, Arteta chose to play Gabriel Jesus in the right wing role instead of, let's say, Kai Havertz. Because mm, I don't understand why at every club he has been since leaving by Leverkusen, Chelsea and Arsenal. At Chelsea, he was played as a striker. At Arsenal, he's being played as a CDM, sort of, or in a number eight to be more precise. But Havertz's most effective role when he was at his top form in Germany, it was as a cam or as a right wing. And now with Saka being injured, I thought this was the perfect time for Arteta to play Havertz as a right winger so that he can do crosses, he can shoot with his left foot. But for some reason, Arteta wants to stick with Nketiah as a striker and Gabriel Jesus as a right winger. I just cannot understand why. Gabriel Jesus is a much better striker than Nketiah, but he is willing to push out Gabriel to the right wing instead of benching Nketiah. I do not know why. And as you saw in the match, that tactic did not work for most of the part. It was only after Nketiah left that the goal happened, but we'll get to that later. Coming back to the lineups for Man City, we saw that with Rodri and KDB obviously being not available, Guardiola chose to play Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, and Rico Lewis. But at this point, we need to have a talk about Calvin Phillips. He was bought for a lot of money for 60 or 50 million pounds. He has not played at all last season, or maybe just some cameos. And even in this season, Guardiola chose to bring in Nunes from Wolves instead of trusting Calvin Phillips in that role. Now, Calvin Phillips is fourth or fifth choice central midfielder, or maybe even lower. Guardiola chose to play Kovacic, who is a newly bought midfielder, Rico Lewis, who's a academy graduate, and Nunes in front of Phillips, even with KDB and Rodri both injured. So I don't understand why he wants to stay there. Maybe he just wants free money. Maybe he just wants free trophies. But City definitely bought him to fulfill the English quota. With the amount of international players they have, they might have just brought him in as a senior English quota player to meet the squad requirements. But it's disappointing how badly his career is going at City. He needs to make a move in either January or in the next summer window. Otherwise, he won't be able to perform at the club level anymore. Now, as soon as the match started, what was apparent was that David Raya was not comfortable in the match. I don't know if it was because he was trying to be very proactive, like he wants to be seen as a active goalkeeper, or if he was too nervous because he was making too many unnecessary actions. His passing was off, inaccurate. He was shooting it somewhere else, passing it to very dangerous positions. And even a few times he came to claim the ball, like Guardiola's cross, but he missed it completely. And once he almost conceded. The ball was passed back to him, and he was taking too much time against a team like City. And he almost got punished by it when Alvarez pressed him and it just hit the side netting. That could have easily gone into the goal, and Arsenal would have probably lost the match from there. David Raya was not convincing in this match. It was a lucky break that City didn't create that many direct chances. Otherwise, David Raya was not good at all in this match. I wasn't satisfied with his performance. Now, if you see me looking here, I'm just trying to read the notes and wait for the match, the topics to talk about. So, David Raya was a cause of concern for Arsenal not being comfortable or confident. But the other thing was, Arsenal are famous for their energetic press, how the whole team presses and they win the ball back usually in the opponent's half. But it didn't work in this match. I don't know if it was because Arteta told the players to not press too much because that would just leave Harden on the counter, or because City are just so good with the ball that they can beat any press. I think at times Arsenal was trying really hard to press, but it didn't work. City just used their quick passing one-twos and just went through the press. And at other times, I didn't see them pressing that much. I could see that Arteta was trying to make one goal and not give that many chances to City. That's why they remain compact and not trying to spread themselves out too much by pressing higher up the field. Then the main point of contention that came in this match, which you can call a controversy again, which happens every week with the referees, is that Kovacic should have been sent off. The first tackle that he did on Odegaard, that was late, that was studs up, that was on his Achilles. There is no way that he should have remained on the pitch with that tackle. I have seen red cards being given for way less. Curtis Jones, red last week. Malo Gusto's, red. Casemiro has gotten like so many reds because of these. But somehow he was only given a yellow. I just I just want to understand what is the rule here. It seems that referees seem to change the rules from one match to the other match. Depending on their mood, something can be a goal, something cannot be a goal. Something will be a red card, something won't be a red card. I just don't understand what the rules are anymore. What is a rule for a handball? What is a rule for a red card? Nobody knows the rules anymore. It was a clear, dangerous tackle, should have been a red card. But let's argue, fine, it's a yellow for some reason. After 2 minutes, Kovacic does a tackle, a horrible tackle once again. He's again late, he's again studs up, and he catches Rice. At that point, that is a second yellow. I just don't know what these refs are doing. If they're trying to be more lenient or they just don't know the rules themselves. It's either corruption or it's either incompetence. Last week, we saw incompetence from the referees in the Liverpool Tottenham match. This week, it's again the same thing. It's either incompetence or it's corruption. I'm saying corruption here because this referee, right, Michael Oliver, I think, he refereed a match in Abu Dhabi recently in the Sharjah Stadium. So he was paid to referee there, and Abu Dhabi owns City as well. So there could be a connection. I don't know. It's allegedly. I'm not saying anything definite. It's allegedly. But I don't know what these refs are trying to do. Their standards are so bad. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know the rules, and they can't apply it properly with the VAR as well. He should have been off the field way earlier in the first half, but he stayed on till the halftime. At halftime, let's say, I was really impressed with Rice in the first half. He was their best player, arguably. He broke City's attack many times. He was passing well, he was carrying the ball well, he was winning headers and stuff. Rice was really impressive. Rice was the reason, I think, that Arsenal remained in the game in the first half. Their most disappointing player was Trossard. Trossard was just nowhere to be seen in the match. You could say Trossard and Nketiah both, but at least Nketiah had a shot, not on goal, but at least a shot. Whereas Trossard was just nowhere. He wasn't involved in the game much, which is understandable because he's going up against Walker, who is one of the best right backs in the league. But yes, Trossard was not impressive. On City's side, I was really impressed with how both Lewis and Guardiola was playing. The scary thing about this is they are both youngsters and they're still performing really well in a match as big as this, which is credit to City's system of getting the right recruits, even with all of the money they have. They get their recruits right to fit their system and they show how well they can improve. So at halftime, it was obvious that some changes needed to be made for Arsenal if they want to win something in this game. And Arteta made the right choice. Arteta subbed off Trossard, brought on Martinelli. It was understandable why Martinelli didn't start because he's coming back from an injury, but choosing Martinelli at halftime and not later, like 60 or 70 minutes, was the right choice. As soon as Martinelli came on, the crowd started roaring more loud. Our Martinelli brought momentum, he brought energy, he brought threat, which was missing on the left flank of Arsenal. And with Martinelli, the stats shifted. Arsenal started having more of possession. Arsenal started having more attacking runs. They kept possession more. It became more of an even game in the second half as compared to the first half, where it was mostly City keeping the ball or City creating chances. But with Martinelli, the game shifted. Arsenal was a lot more energetic, a lot more belief, a lot more threatening. So Arteta definitely made the right choice, and that proved to be crucial with the goal that he scored. Later on, Art, Pep Guardiola also tried to make changes. He brought on Stones, Nunes, Doku. And like I said earlier in the video, even Stones is being preferred in midfield before Calvin Phillips. So that's just a really big flop, a really bad sign for his career that he's just being seen as a squad player, as a seventh or eighth choice midfielder. So he should definitely look for a move. Even with the new subs that Guardiola made, the match wasn't opening for either teams. It was way too cagey. Both teams seemed afraid to take a chance, afraid to take a risk. Most of the chances that were created in this game came from counterattacks, like the goal Rigolo scored or the chances Arsenal got. They all came from counterattacks, which is very weird because both teams are known for their possession, fast passing, incisive passing game styles. Yet in this match, chances came from counterattacks. This just showed that both teams didn't want to lose the match. They both were looking for just one chance because City has Haaland who can go all game with like four touches and then just score a goal. Same with Arsenal. They were looking for that fast counter attack with Gabriel Jesus, with Martinelli, with Nketiah, with Odegaard, and just score a goal. So it was very, very close, very cagey with not many chances. So it was a little bit stale towards the end. Doku was trying to do something, but he couldn't do it. And towards his own half, he was dribbling too much in his own third. He was trying to go to 2 or 3 players every time and then just keep on giving possession back to Arsenal, which I'm sure Pep Guardiola won't be happy with. After that, yeah, let's talk about Odegaard. Odegaard this season has not been in form. He looks way off form. Last season, he was one of the best midfielders in the league. I think he scored the most non-penalty goals for any midfielder in the Premier League last season. But this season, he hardly has any goal involvements. He cannot seem to pass the ball correctly or shoot correctly. In this match, we saw so many times simple passes that he was either overdoing it or underdoing it. And with the shots, a few times he could have passed it, but he took the shot and just skied it. It's not even like he put it on target, but it's just that he skied the ball. He just shot it way higher. He's just out of form, and Arteta either needs to rotate him or give him some rest. Within the international break coming up, hopefully he can just stay focused and find the form that he's missing. But Odegaard needs to come back to his form if Arsenal wants to come back to their title charge. Odegaard needs to find his form. Especially with Saka missing in the team, Odegaard needs to be there as the captain, as a leader, as a creative outlet. In this match, until the 80th minute, it was too cagey. It just seemed to me like Arsenal were not trying hard enough, that they were too focused on not conceding a goal rather than scoring a goal. I think it's because they have been beaten so many times, except the community shield. They have been beaten so many times by City that they were too scared to concede a goal again. With KDB missing and Rodri missing, this was the best chance Arsenal had to beat City. But throughout the match, it just seemed like they were too focused on not conceding a goal rather than scoring a goal themselves. This was their best chance to win against City, but they weren't trying hard. There weren't too many clear-cut chances. I can barely remember Edison being tested in the match. I don't think he even had a save or two properly. But same can be said for City. Without Rodri, without KDB, Haaland is not effective. Yes, he can get a goal here and there, but he is barely involved for most part. I don't think Raya had many saves that he had to make in the game. He was careless by his own mistakes, the chances, but it's not like City were shooting 10 shots, making 10 chances. There was nothing in the game. It was too close. But in a match this cagey, in a match this close with high stakes, someone needs to take a risk. Someone needs to just go for it and forget about the risk, about conceding a goal. It could have been Doku, it could have been Haaland, but it turned out to be Martinelli. It was a really quick break by Partey. And like I said, Partey should have played from the starting. Partey played a long ball. It came to Havertz. Havertz laid it off to Martinelli. And in a normal situation, you would have complained, why is Martinelli taking a shot from there? But it's already the late 80 minutes. Something needs to happen. And Martinelli took that chance. No one else was taking a shot from long range. Everyone was trying to play those cute passes in the boxes and trying to get a goal. Martinelli took that shot, it deflected off Ake and went in. And that's all it took for this game. Someone to be brave enough to take a chance, to take a wild chance and score. And Martinelli got that goal. This goal, this win that they have got, it's so huge for Arsenal. It's big for their belief that yes, they can beat the best team in the world. That yes, they can go for a title charge again. That yes, they have that quality in them. even without Saka, even without Odegaard being in form, that they can beat City and they can keep on the charge. This is more than 3 points for Arsenal. This feels like a turning point for Arsenal. Either they can take this confidence and win games and go on for a title charge till the end and not give up and not buckle it like last season. But for City, on the other hand, they have lost 3 games domestically in a row. Newcastle, Wolves, and now Arsenal. In the coming few matches, if I'm remembering correctly, they are going to face 6 of the top 8 teams: Brighton, United, and the rest. It's a really tough fixture going forward. I think KDB has a long injury out. Rodri will be back. But without KDB and Rodri, City are not clicking that well. That just shows how important they are to this system. City, if they want to be serious, they will have to find a new change to fill the gaps left by both the players, especially KDB. Because KDB and Haaland link up was great, but without KDB, Haaland seems to be a little more less effective than usual. So with this win, it's a goal that not Arsenal fans would have been dreaming of. Like, this is the goal that would win them the match against City. But it's a goal, it's a win that they will gladly take by any means possible. Defeating City for the first time in 6 years in the Premier League is a huge milestone. Any goal they would have taken, any win. So props to Arsenal. They came through this tough match, even though it was heavily in their favor, being at Emirates without KDB and Rodri, and without City being in their best form, not creating many chances. But all that matters is 3 points. They got the win, and now international break starts, and they can go into the break with a lot of confidence. So yes, that's my match reaction, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment below about your opinions on the match as well. I would really like if you can give me a like and a subscribe on the channel as well, since it's a newly built channel. Any like, subscribe, and comments would be really appreciated. I see you in the next match reaction. I see you all later. Goodbye.